What's up, folks? This is Chris, otherwise known as Music City Driver, heading into my day job. Going to do another installment of Money Monday for last week, which was what were the dates of last week? I can't even remember. January 22nd to January 28th of 2018. Last week was a little slower than normal. I don't know. We had a lot of rain. Especially on Saturday night, there was a lot of rain. It was kind of chilly outside. Friday night was even more dead than Saturday, but I got a lot of rides that took me out to not optimal locations, I guess you could say, earlier in the night. And I didn't get, I got a late start on Saturday as well, later than normal. I don't think I got into town and got my first ride until probably, I did get a ride on the way into town on Saturday, actually, in Bellevue. Well, not really Bellevue, it's sort of close to, it's like kind of like out towards Franklin, but still in Bellevue. So anyway, that was a decent little ride. It was like $16, and then the people actually asked to have me again, so they had me, they called me later. They asked for my cell phone, I gave it to them, so they called me and actually texted me later. I was actually en route from a ride from Opryland, which I just dropped off at. I had a couple little back-to-back serial little good runs there. Had one from where was that? Downtown, I think it was, Broadway, all the way out to the Opryland Hotel. Actually, it was the Ryman. It was near the Ryman. Over on Commerce. It was a mess. The traffic was horrible that night. But anyway, so I picked them up, took them to Opryland, got a ping from, while I was dropping them off, to go over to Opry Mills Mall near the Grand Ole Opry, which was kind of weird. It was really super crowded, like there was an Opry show going on, but the Opry was at the Ryman. Anyway, so it took me a while to get to them, and then I got them, took them to East Nashville, and then my previous passengers had texted me and said, hey, we're about to leave this party, can you come and get us? It was over off of 8th Avenue South in that W.O. Smith's music school or something. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll head over that way. So went over there, picked them up, took them down to Bellevue, and then I had a lady who pinged me like a stacked trip after, and this was really frustrating, by the way. So I get the ping, it's 13 minutes away. It's an Uber X, so I took it. So I knew I'd get a long pickup fee. I'm curious. I'm kind of testing these out to see how much they are actually paying extra. So I was like, okay, I'll go get it. So I get like within 3 to 4 minutes of being there, and she cancels, and I don't get a cancellation fee, and I still have not quite figured out why. Contacted Uber like 3 or 4 times through support, and saying, oh yes, our system says that you're not eligible. I'm like, I don't understand why I'm not eligible. Because from the time that I took the ping, and maybe because it was a stacked ride, I don't know, but from the time I took the ping, it was way more than 2 minutes after, you know what I mean, after she requested that she canceled, which should have resulted in a cancellation fee, period. But I guess because I didn't arrive there fast enough, if I had arrived there, I would have gotten a pretty substantial cancellation fee, because it probably would have exceeded the $5 amount. It would have been time and distance. So that I didn't get. I never got a cancellation fee on it, so that pissed me off pretty good, and that actually took away any chances that I would get a good ride at all. So luckily I made up for it a little bit later with a nice plus ride from Marathon Music Works all the way down to Brentwood, and then I ended up taking them to another bar because the bar we chose first was closed. The police had shut it down for whatever reason. Very odd. So I took them, it was actually Drake's down there, and then I took them, as a result, I took them to Tin Roof 2 over off of Carruthers. So anyway, decent night, I guess you could say, Saturday night. I can go into the separate details if you want, but I'll start with Lyft, since it's already up on the screen here. As you can see, 408.82 was my total earnings for the week, which is pretty pathetic, really, if you think about it. Because I worked a lot of hours this week. I had 44 rides. It shows that my app was on for 41 hours and 26 minutes. It's probably pretty accurate. My Uber app shows about the same, about 40 hours. So I actually ended up getting more Lyft than Uber on Saturday and more Uber than Lyft on Friday. But I did work almost every day that week. I just would quit about 10 or something like that on Monday through Wednesday and Thursday, something like that. So 408 82s, you can see $44 in tips. The bonuses of $11.13, that was from power zones. So if you're in a power zone, of course, when you get a ping, I think the highest mine went was like 20%, so I only got like a 20% a couple of times, which that can add a little bit extra. Cancellation fee, I did get a cancel earning because I got a ping it was actually right outside downtown, south of downtown, on 2nd Avenue. Somebody pinged me, and I looked, and I was like right around the corner when I got it, and they pinged me, and I pulled up. I didn't see the stick figure, so I'm thinking, okay. So I tried to call, it goes straight to voicemail, which is weird because, so a few minutes later, after I had arrived, cancels. So luckily I got a cancellation fee on it, but then she requested me again, the same freaking spot. I think she was downtown at a bar and had transposed her addresses, where she was actually requesting the lift at the address that she wanted to go to, and was coming from the bar that said she wanted to go to. So I think she was a little inebriated possibly and did that. I tried to call her, like I said, to no avail. So anyway, yeah, $44 in tips. I did have one ride adjusted because it was I think she was trying to take advantage of it, but it was a girl with a bunch of other girls, actually 5 total, from LA, I think, or something, and she had requested a regular lift, and I got there and there was 5. Luckily I have a plus vehicle, but I was only getting a lift rate for that, so I rode into Lyft, and they did give me the difference on that. They, of course, they gave me the spiel of every time somebody requests a regular lift and there's more than 4 people, then you're supposed to ask them to cancel and then order a plus, which to me, that would give them a cancellation fee. Plus, that would probably end up in a bad rating. But anyway, so I just changed it after the fact. She's like, "Oh, thank you for reminding me. I forgot that I need to order a plus. I'm used to ordering a regular lift." So maybe she just was not used to it. So that was Lyft 40882. And we're gonna do Uber next. Uber was $568.81 for the week, much more. As you can see, I worked a little bit on every day. I worked a little bit. Monday did $66.59. Tuesday was actually surprisingly busy. I meant to mention that. $148.70 on Uber. It was mostly Uber. The reason why it was mostly Uber was because of Vanderbilt students. So the previous week was Sorority Rush, and apparently during Sorority Rush, the sorority members cannot go out to any bars, etc. on the previous weekend, because the previous weekend was pretty slow too. So Tuesday night was the first night that they were able to go out, and it definitely showed. I started getting hammered from probably about 10 or 11 o'clock all the way through the night, and it actually ended up dying off a little bit earlier, which is fine with me because I had to go to work the next day, because somebody got the bar shut down, which was Piranha's on 3rd and Commerce. That's where they were all going because Frisky Frogs had apparently run an ad about specials for post sorority rush, and the school got wind of it, and therefore they were on the lookout for fake IDs. So it was kind of interesting. But the police were out there, but apparently somebody broke a door or window or something, and the bouncers kicked everybody out at like midnight. So I had a bunch of rides, a bunch of Select and XL rides. I think they're mistakenly pushing that when they order them. But the Vanderbilt kids, they have their student IDs tied to Uber. They can actually attach it to their Uber account, whereas you can't with Lyft, I guess. So the majority of rides I get from Vandy are Uber. Other schools like Belmont, Lipscomb, etc., I get Lyft rides quite often, and I occasionally get Lyft rides, strangely enough, at Vanderbilt from exchange students, like foreign students. It's really interesting. But anyway, I digress. So $148.70 for that day. Wednesday, I think I only took one ride for like $9. Actually, that Yeah, I think I did work. Either I did work Wednesday and it was, I can't remember. And it was, an early morning ride. It shouldn't have been that early because it should have flipped over at like 4 o'clock the next day. So I think I only took one ride that night. And then Thursday was 155.68. Friday 148.57. And then, as I said, I was slow on Uber Saturday, so 60.56 and 19.31. Total of 568.81. Tips are $33.73. And I guess that's pretty much it there. So as you can see, I worked just about every day. Yeah, only one trip on Wednesday. And I guess that one trip was probably a short trip. Yeah, it was a select ride at 6 o'clock. I must have just decided to go home early. So $8.95 for a 1.75 mile trip. Not very far. So like I said, not many tips on that. It showed I was on the app for 46 hours and 29 minutes. So I worked almost 50 hours this week. And for the total that I got, it's not very impressive, honestly. I usually do a little bit better than that. I maybe got out of the groove, got out of my areas that I normally am in because I had some odd rides that took me into odd places that didn't really have much demand. You can't really control that. You can't control where they're going to take you, so it's not really my fault, I guess, in a lot of situations there. But I tried to get back to an area that was somewhat decent in a relatively quick manner of time. Luckily, I didn't get, actually, it's probably lucky I didn't get any pings that took me even further out, because I get that sometimes. I'll get pinged to Murfreesboro, and then I'll just get stuck there for a few minutes doing rides back and forth. But so I only had a little bit of cash this week as well. One night I got 2 $5 tips, and that was pretty much it. So that was like $10 in cash. So if we could say $10 and then 568.81, so that's and then plus 408.82. That's actually not too bad, I guess. I think a lot of people would actually be jealous to do this. Oops, I messed up, didn't I? Should have done this before. But I think a lot of people probably wouldn't mind making this much. But I honestly don't usually work that many hours for this much money. So $987.63. If you ballpark it and say that I worked 50 hours, the hourly rate. I know hourly rate doesn't really matter that much, but it's $19.75 an hour, which is way more than you can make at a regular part-time job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about that at all. Keep in mind also, as a disclaimer, I do run XL and Select on Uber, and I do run Plus on Lyft. And I have heard rumors, by the way, that they're going to let you be able to choose if you want to run Plus only on XL, which is cool. I could deal with that, but I don't know. We'll have to see how it works. If I run Plus only on Lyft, and then XL and Select only on Uber, I'll be interested to see how many rides I get, and if I do get those rides, how lucrative it will be. It may be that, because it seems like sometimes I don't get as many Plus rides with Lyft as I do with XL with Uber. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. But anyway, guys, that is it for this installment of Money Monday. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Like I said, I share this content as just a perspective into the Nashville market. I know it may not be applicable to all markets, but it just gives you an idea of how much people are working for how much money. I'm hoping this next weekend will pick up a little bit more. And hoping that it will actually pick up some. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I am out of here. If you guys are out driving, please be safe. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.